All right, everyone. Welcome to the lunch break here at FNGO. Hope you guys are doing good today. I know it's going to take a few minutes for some of you guys to get on, but I tell you, I just got to the shop and I'm ready to get started. Into the first week of us doing this program, and had a lot of great feedback on it from everybody so far. So we're going to continue it, and hopefully we'll grow it. I know you guys are busy with your work day and everything, but it's always good when you guys have a chance just to join me during the middle of the day and just shoot some bulls. So I know it's going to take a few minutes. People start getting on here, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get to talking while everybody joins us. And so just got here to the shop. Went fishing with Kevin Underwood with Lip Sticker Fishing this morning on his Patreon. We're going to talk about that. What's up, Tatum? What's up, Cam? And Doc, how are you doing, buddy? And let's see, Jonah, what's up, buddy? So, yeah, I fished with him this morning. We're going to talk about that. It was a really weird bite. Let's just say it that way. It was a really, really weird bite this morning. What's up, Bill Sabers? Anyway, so, guys, if you didn't watch the live well last night, you missed a really good show. John Sarah was on. We talked big swim baits, and that was eye-opening. And that, between that and what we did with Kevin Underwood this morning, big baits, guys, big baits. So Derek Spicer, they were biting good on Allatoona. Quality and quantity was there. What's up, Tony? Yeah, it was a great. It was different on Lanier this morning. But if you didn't watch it, go back and watch that. I'm going to have John back here soon, probably when I get back from iCast, and we will we'll talk about it some more because there's a lot to learn. Big Shanty finally made one. Pizza's in the oven heating up. What's up, buddy? Glad you could join us. So, you guys, you know how this is. I will talk fishing, but always when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that crosses my mind is what I decide to be the opening topic of this thing. And so I'm going to talk to you about gender reveals. What's up, Dana? Oh, FCP Fishing in the house. Long time no talk, buddy. Glad you're here. So my son got married last year, and his wife and he are expecting their first child. Not due till late December, early January. But tomorrow, I'm going to come into the shop. Danny's finally revealing his gender. There you go, smart ass. Right there. But so tomorrow, thank you. Tomorrow I'm going to come in the shop and I'm going to work a half a day. And then I'm going to a gender reveal. And so my question to you guys is this, and I'm not fussing, but at some point in my lifetime, things have changed. At some point in my lifetime, and really in the last, seems like 10 years, something's wrong with us men. Hey, congratulations. You got your second one, dude. That's cool. This will be my first grandchild. I am excited. But I try to keep it, I'm trying to be that cool grandparent, laid back and all. But this is bothering me. At some point in the last 10, 15 years, we men have dropped the ball. And not only are we having these gender reveals, and it's just a big thing, but also, at what point did men have to start going to baby showers? I don't recall ever going to a baby shower for any of my kids. My wife and I did not have a gender reveal. In fact, our gender reveal was when my youngest is 23, my oldest is 30. When we got the ultrasound, they said you either got a taco or a turtle, and you guys can figure it out. Taco being girl, turtle being a boy. And that's what we got told. And then we just called everybody, yeah, hey, we're having a girl. Yeah, hey, we're having a boy. But at some point now, we have to have a gender reveal. Now, we're all going to gather at my son's house tomorrow. We're going to cook hot dogs and hamburgers, and we're going to have a good time. Okay, we're going to have a good time. But when did this become the norm? we watch the videos of these idiots that can't hit the ball. And, when they do hit it, it's blue or pink. Or they got a plane flying over, or whatever the hell it is. But now it has become almost we just went with the surprise of what we had. Well, you're showing your age, though. But seriously, it is a new age thing. And now it's another reason for the couple to spend money to tell everybody what they're having. And it's a big deal. I would say with the under 30 crowd, this is a big deal. Now, at least they believe in two genders. Yes, they do. Atlanta Outdoors, they do. But this has become such like it's you got to do it. And then my son had to go. He had to go to the baby showers or no, it might have been wedding showers too. I don't know. All I know is my grandpa didn't do this stuff. I don't believe my dad did this stuff. I didn't do this stuff. And now, all of a sudden, you have to do the gender reveal. You have to go to the baby shower. And it blows my mind. Not that it's okay. Like I said, I'm going to have a good time. But I was thinking this morning, because I knew I had to come into the shop tomorrow. I knew I was going, I'm thinking a day ahead, which is dangerous for me. But that popped in my mind. I said, I got Trey. That's my boy. I got their gender reveal tomorrow. It's at 3:00. It's not a bad time, as long as it's not football season. I tell you, the worst thing is a wedding in the fall. I don't know why men get married on a Saturday in the fall, but they do. They do. Tony says the last baby shower for my second daughter. Last time I've gone to one, I just went to brag on my accomplishment. Yeah. I mean, I get that. I get that 100%. Some of us grew up old school. It's this new generation and they've normalized it. I'd rather be fishing. Yeah, I thought the guys, now this ain't a bachelor party, but I thought the guys did something. Or, you just went fishing or anything. That a baby shower was for the women. And what is it like? You'll go to one, I guess, and there's one guy there, the husband's there, but the rest are women because my ass ain't going to one. I don't know about you guys. I ain't going to it. My wife's going to make me go now that I said that. Take a flask of Crown in the pocket makes it more tolerable. I don't know, dude. Trey Crenshaw says, I've got one that I'll tell you in person next time. I ain't putting it in writing. Yeah, you got a secret, don't you? So, yeah, I mean, it's a new thing. And I just sit back and what's going to be the next thing? Okay. But a gender reveal, you got a 50-50 shot. You got a 50-50 chance. Is it really a big surprise? Boy, girl, what are we doing? What are we doing this? Now, I know some of you younger people out there might be like, yeah, you old fart. One thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to turn into the old Republican white dude that sits around and gets grumpy about everything. That's not me. But it doesn't hurt to question the direction of the male in our species. At what point are we going to take it back? When are we going to take it back? Now, I'm the first to tell you, I'll go home, I'll wash dishes, I will cook, I'll clean, I'll do whatever my wife tells me to do. And yeah, Big Shanny, the Amazon list they send out for gifts. Yeah, they tell you what they want, which I kind of get it because they don't want you to spend stuff and then they have to take it back. But that's something that's been normalized too here in the last 10 years. They got the Target list. They got the, I guess they got one at Walmart, whatever like that. It's strange to me. And it's not a bad thing. There are far worse things in this world going on. But that's the way my brain works. Atlanta Outdoors said, we did not do the gender reveal, but I was at the shower. My wife carried low and looked like she was about to pop, needed my truck for the gifts. Hey, whatever you want to say, big dog. Whatever you want to say. Hey, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Be honest. She told you to go, didn't she? I haven't been to one. I've been asked to one, but I didn't go. I was fishing a tournament that day. Yeah, that 100%. 100%. And I'll go to the gender reveal. I'm not boycotting it because, listen, there's going to be hot dogs there. And this boy likes hot dogs. Big Shandy, $500 for a stroller. Ain't getting it from me. Well, you cheap ass. Huh? Yeah. So, but I'm just joking with you. But no, seriously, too. Seriously, I got it. But I think, my son and his wife are not doing a very expensive one. It's just a cookout. And I don't know how they're going to tell everybody, but at least they're not blowing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. When your ass has airplanes flying underneath, dropping certain color ink or whatever it is, that's a lot of dinero right there. At that point, I think you've gone too far. Now, the gender reveals do not bother me as much as the baby showers. The baby showers, I just think, car seats aren't cheap. No, they're not cheap. And you know what? Here's the bad thing is you don't want to be that person that gets the cheap gift. Because don't you have to, I know my wife handles all this stuff, but don't you have to put your name? Can't they tell? Like if they've got an Amazon list or a Target list and they have the $500 stroller and then they got the, diapers for $39.99 and you buy the $39.99 diapers, is your name associated with that? Is it like Venmo? Let's see. Men don't get married in the fall. Men do what they're told. I know. If it was my son, I would have to cook the hot dog, says Tim. No doubt. Seriously. But listen, I'm a sucker for a good hot dog. The ideas they have are pretty cool. My cousin hit a baseball with blue or pink in it. Yeah, but there's always that ass that misses. The wife either can't throw it straight or that guy never played baseball in his life, and it shows. I mean, you get all excited. Here's the pitch. Whiff. All right, let's try it again. Here's the pitch. Whiff. I mean, at some point, you're sitting back there in the crowd going, hit the damn ball, dude. I'm hungry. I want something to eat. Trey said, I drop another one on you that's been normalized, a push present. What the hell is that all about? Trey, I don't even know what a push present is. And they have baby moons now? You got to be kidding me. Baby moons. If my wife wants me to spend an afternoon at a shower or reveal, then I'll happily go with her. Lord knows she supports all the dumb shit I do. John, ass kissing is not allowed right here on the lunch break. But I do know what you mean. Listen, I talk a big talk, but my wife ain't here. I probably wouldn't say this, but see, that's the thing about it. I got the doors to the shop locked and can't nobody stop me right now. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. But does anybody know what a push? Well, where was it? A push present is? It's a present for them pushing the kid out. Are you serious? Seriously. Apparently, women expect some gift for carrying a baby for 9 months and pushing the baby out. Wow. All right, guys, that's a new one on me. A push present. Let me tell you something. Now, in the old days, the dad would sit outside in the hallway. Okay, they'd sit outside in the hallway, maybe having a cigar or something, back when you could smoke wherever you wanted to. And, the nurse came and said, hey, you got your baby. Here's your boy. Here's your girl. Now, I will say that on all three of my kids, I was there. But you guys know me and you know how I think. I'm almost like a kayak guy. I'm slightly off-centered. So with my first child, this is not a lie, guys. My wife was here. She could tell you the truth. I had a bag of popcorn. I got the midwife right beside me. I got my wife spread eagle 12 inches in front of me. And I'm sitting there popping that popcorn. And I'm watching his head. I'm not even going to, you guys that are fathers, you know what happens. And I'm just sitting right there. And that was my first child. I mean, seriously. Boom, here I am, handful of daggum Jiffy popcorn, microwave popcorn. And here come Taylor. She's there. And, nasty, and they all look like aliens. Everybody, listen, I'll be honest with my own kids. Every baby that's born looks like a 95-year-old man on a 3-day drunk that just had a heart attack. Until they get that color in them a little bit, get some fat on the bones and all that. They come up and, as a parent, you're supposed to say, oh, they're beautiful. And I'm like, that's ugly as hell. Be honest with you. I got beautiful kids. They've grown up to be good looking adults. But my Lord, now, with my 2 daughters, I was right there. Now, on my son, for some reason, I got kicked out from the viewing area right there, and I had to hold my wife's leg. I had to sit there and hold her leg up, and my wife's a machine. She popped in things out and all that, but my son was born. My other 2 kids had black hair. My midwife, same midwife for all of them. She's down there, and I'm holding the leg up. Amanda's bitching at me because I'm telling her to breathe and rub her hair. You better go or that iron dome may close. And yes, I cut the cord. I did do that mess of crunchy ass shit. I mean, it really was. Crap. But anyway, I'm holding it up, and I got that leg hiked up. And all of a sudden, the midwife, and this is my son, and we knew we were having a boy. We didn't have no gender reveal. We knew. So anyway, she goes, what a beautiful patch of strawberry blonde hair. Now, guys, this is honest truth. My wife stopped mid-push, sat up, and said, I'm not having a redheaded baby. Swear to God, that's what she said. That midwife looked up at her and said, the hell you ain't, push. So Justin Nichols says, I had to hold my wife's leg, and I'm standing there thinking, why am I doing the nurse's job who we're paying thousands to? Exactly. Wouldn't the baby be the push present? And yes, they definitely look like an alien with a triangle head. I'm serious. Oh, speaking of Iron Dome, how many of you guys actually went home last night and tried it? How many of you tried to shoot the missile and got shot down by the Iron Dome? Why that popped up. But it was like the strangest thing. Okay, so, I started off with gender reveal and baby showers, but now push presents and baby moons. I didn't even have a honeymoon, guys. I came home from work one day. It was Valentine's Day, and I told my wife we had already gotten the license. We had the blood test back when you had to do all that kind of crap. And I came home and I called my uncle, who was a preacher. I said, hey, I want you to marry me this afternoon. I thought it was a hell of a Valentine's Day present. Came, picked up Amanda, my granny, her mom, my mom. We flew over to Uncle James' house. She was in purple, like jogging pants. I was in blue jeans. We said our vows. We went to Taco Bell with her sister and her brother, ex-brother-in-law. We went to Taco Bell, went home. Got up the next day, went to work. The crew leader for the company I was on, he told our boss, he goes, hey, he got married yesterday. He should have the day off. And he goes, that ain't my fault. So anyway, that's what happened. But a baby moon. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to do some, we might revisit that on Monday. I'm going to look into that. But anyway, gender reveals, baby showers, push presents, and baby moons. Our anniversary is the day after Valentine's Day. I get all the chocolate on discount. Smart man. I got married on Valentine's Day, so I would never forget my anniversary. If I forget my anniversary at that point, I've got something wrong with my head. But anyway, let's kind of transition over to fishing. Now, I met Kevin Underwood today. He was doing his Patreon. First of all, pretty neat setup. He's got in his boat to do that. Met him at Van's Tavern. Jim Wright, hold on a second. A baby moon is the mother goes on a vacation before having the baby. Really? She goes on vacation before having the baby. Well, she just go sit on the beach? She can't be doing too much. Can't be drinking or smoking unless you live here in Pickens County. And that's another thing, too. Back then, everybody's dad smoked and everything. Moms drank. We turned out fine. Rode in the back of the trucks. Drank water from the hose. All that stuff that we say. That's always the cliches, but hell, it was true. Bench seats. We had bench seats. My mom had an S10 with a bench seat, and me and my brother would sit there, and the one on the end would always piss her off. And when she backhands you, the guy in the middle always got the elbow, and she always said, well, you probably deserved it as well. different world back there. Anything she wants, beach, mountain, Vegas, whatever she wants. Wow. Bowers Outdoors. We did the Valentine's Day too. 2 holidays knocked out at one time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And listen, call me a cheap ass, but I think I was smart. I will never, ever, ever forget my anniversary. So, but the baby moon's interesting. That's definitely a new thing. Because, used to, they'd kick that joker out and they's at work in 3 days. Now, you get all this time off. The husband gets time off, all that kind of stuff. So, anyway. Back to the fishing. So, the plan this morning was to do his Patreon and to go topwater fishing. Okay? Hell, I used to lay down in the flat area above the back seat by the window. Trey, I know. Sure. And had all the cigarette smoke. That's where it just would end up back there. You had all the cigarette smoke in your face back there. Those were the days. My dad smoked Cool Menthol Kings. I don't know why, but he liked the Cool Menthol Kings. He used to go in the Waffle House, had the cigarette machine, pop them, get them things out back in the day. But anyway, we was going to topwater fish. And a couple guys yesterday, my cousin on the lunch break said that he had fished Wednesday night. Topwater was fire. Somebody last night on the live well said they had fished on Lanier yesterday morning. Topwater was on fire. So that was our plan. We were going to go out of Van's Tavern. We were fishing humps. We fished a lot of big water humps. Didn't go into any creeks, any pockets. We fished the entire thing on humps. Started off, he threw a chug bug. I was throwing like a Sebile style bait, threw the chug bug a little bit. He had one fish blow up. I had one fish swirl at a Sebile, and that was it. That was it. So we went to another spot. Now, he has live well, of course. And I will tell you what, it didn't take long to figure out something was different this morning. And it took a while to figure out how he was going to catch fish. But since we taught big swim baits last night, it's just how things work. He had to pull out a Nichols Big Ben, whatever flutter spoon that says 6 inch, but it's really 8 inches, about 5 ounces. Big ass treble hook on it, like a Zara spook saltwater bait with feathered treble. And I'm watching him. High pressure front moved in yesterday. That's probably what it was. But here's the thing is you can see the fish lined up. And Kevin, if you ever get a chance to book a trip with Kevin Underwood, you should. You really honestly should. Because to watch him, especially if you want to learn the live scope game. Hey, Trey, I actually did throw the whopper plopper for about 2 or 3 casts. Just so I could say that I threw a whopper plopper on his live. So I did do that, and I cut that joker and put it back up. But the only good bites that were got today, and listen, guys, I've never thrown a flutter spoon in my life other than maybe 2 or 3 casts, and definitely not with someone that had live scope. To watch those fish follow that and attack that spoon was insane to me. And some of the techniques that Kevin used, and I'll give a couple, but for the most part, you need to go subscribe to his Patreon or book a trip with him. First of all, basically, was throwing on a swim bait rod. I had mine on braid. He had his on like 25-pound fluoro. He would throw it out, and he would let that thing go all the way to the bottom, which I thought was interesting. I would have never thought about that. He'd let it go to the bottom, watch the fish go all the way down to the bottom, and then he would pop, 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 and he would do that. And depending on how the fish were reacting, it was his next thing. If the fish were coming at it hard, he would pop, pop, burning it back up really quick. If the fish were just nose down on it, he did this crazy thing where he would let it go on the bottom, and he would just pop his rod up just a little bit. And what he said he was doing was, in theory, taking the spoon on the bottom, popping it and letting it just flop over to the other side. Pop it a little bit and let it flop over to the other side. And he would do that. And the first time he started doing that, he busted 3.5 pound spot, which was insane. And he pulled it out of 50 foot of water. A lot of the fish were on the bottom. Those fish that were on the bottom would hardly bite anything. Now, granted, we did not throw shaky heads at them. We didn't do any of that stuff. I only took a couple of rods in a box that had some bills and some top water. I didn't take anything with me other than that. Didn't even take a spinning rod. I actually threw bait casters today. But if the fish were lined up off the brush, halfway up the water column, those fish, 9 times out of 10, were the ones that, if nothing else, they would swipe at it. And he's good at it. I sucked at it. I did get one bite. It's the damnedest bite I've had in a long time. It was different. But I'm not used to throwing a spoon that big. I got to learn. Because I'm telling you, that's a big spoon. I got the 6-inch Georgia blades over here, and that one, it dwarfs it. It's honestly like twice the size. He said earlier this week they were throwing a 9-inch spoon. A 9-inch spoon down on these spots on Lanier. But if the fish were up in the water column and if they were lined up, now you got to visualize your graph. It is the same thing as throwing a minnow. It's just a big minnow. It's a big minnow, Jim. But if those, I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea of what I was looking at on his screen. If the fish were off the brush, either bunched up or lined up, those were the active fish. If the fish were down on the bottom, and they were a ton of fish down on the bottom. It surprised me how many fish were on the bottom. And we're talking 50, 60 foot of water. And some of them could have been stripers or whatever, but like they were there. But if the fish were up, he would throw that flutter spoon out. We'd watch it go down. Those fish would nose down on it. And those were the ones that he was getting a bite on. Now, we also went and fished some seawalls. And what was funny is, and I'm definitely not good enough to do this, I'll have to learn this, but the way Kevin would flip that spoon up and give it a pop, he was fluttering it up under the seawall. And those fish would come up. But they just were not really aggressive this morning. Now, he did say, he told me this last night, and he told me again this morning, that right now, the best time he's having for top water on Lake Lanier, and definitely you're talking about, he has fished up north some, but definitely on the south end, from 11 to 2 o'clock. When the sun is directly overhead, and the sunnier the better, that's his best topwater bite right now. Now, he'll say that you can catch them on topwater, and it depends on where you're at on the lake. You can catch them all day long, but his mornings have been slow. They bust them in the midday, and then in the afternoon. That's when it's been better, which is, our way of thinking, hey, first daylight, that's when they're going to bite. Heat of the day, they're probably going to slow down, and then towards dark. But he said, no, for him, middle of the day. He's also been chasing them with a big, deep diving crankbait, which we did not throw today. But that flutter spoon, Big Bait John, there you go, buddy. What's up? I love throwing big spoons. And see, that's the thing. You were on last night, and we were talking about all these big baits. Well, these spoons were as big as every bait you had last night, other than that 11-inch bullshit or whatever it was. So it was very interesting, and to watch that. But to watch Kevin Underwood work a live scope, and it doesn't matter what, even if you are against it in tournaments or whatever, when somebody gets some technology in their hands and they know exactly what they're doing, absolutely, it is awesome to watch. Booking a trip, guess the light shining down makes the silhouette of the bait more pronounced. Actually, okay, since you brought that up, Big Shanny, this is what he was talking about. First of all, on topwater, he will position his boat on a hump. He will position his boat on a hump to where when he makes the cast, if he's pulling it back, in his eyes, the sun is in the fish's eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get it where he's kind of guessing and hoping the fish are looking into the sun. And it's a different way. And I'd watch him take his boat, come up on a hump. He would honestly, because again, think about it, we're fishing in the morning. So he actually wanted the sun in his face. He did not want to cast a shadow with his boat. And so he would position himself on a hump, sun to our face, and would cast into the sun. It didn't matter what the wind was doing. It didn't matter, what the thing. And he loves those river channels right there. He called them, he has a term for them. Just where you got shallow water right next to the river. And then you get a hump right off of that. But it was really cool to watch that. And then he would take that live scope and he would scan. And then he would look at a certain set of fish and he'd go, no, that's not what we're looking for. And then if he did get a follow or two, and you guys know this, if that school came up and at least just followed the bait, that's the only cast. Only cast. He was not going back after those. He would pull his trolling motor up and we'd go somewhere else. There was several spots this morning. We made two cast tops. They would follow up, wouldn't hit. He wasn't wasting his time. But Alex says, Kevin is the man. I've been out with him twice now. Dude is a machine. You'll learn a lot. And if you want to know, and I'm talking live scope, but if you really want to know side imaging, Kevin Underwood is the best I've ever seen at side imaging. We were doing that a little bit this morning. He goes, hey, look at that. There's this, there's that. We got back to the ramp right before he dropped me off, and he was doing it. And he was, look at those 8 fish right there. And I'm looking at it like, what are you talking about? And I know everybody says, look for the rice, look for the, he's like, see the shadows here. But he takes his time. And he'll fish with you. It was great. So if you guys ever that, but how many of you guys actually throw a big spoon? There's a couple of you. How many guys want to throw a big spoon? I don't know that it will be a technique that I'll do, but for sure, it was interesting with that. So how many of you guys are going to fish this weekend, and where you going? If you want to throw that up, of course, I got my gender reveal. So I don't think I'll be fishing, and I got a lot to do it here at the shop. Jim Wright says, I do in the summer and the fall. I'm going to learn it. Me and Lee Battery Basson do. I threw a lot and get them hung up from the bank. Now, Nathan, I would imagine throwing a flutter spoon from the bank would be tough. Almost all the time, he would, even if he chunked out 80 feet, you're going to the log, taking 2 people out, thanks to me. Well, you're welcome. I'll accept my commission right there. So Alex is going to Latham tomorrow. What's up, Kevin? Yeah, it's been getting skunked lately. It is tough. And that's what I'm saying. Kevin said his morning bite's been tough. Heading to tuna this evening, probably going to get wet, but the fish are already wet. Now, Atlanta Outdoors, I use jigging spoons in the winter on the ditches. Big Shanny says, taking off this weekend. Just got back from Chick last weekend. Mayfly hatch up there. Oh, okay. Jim's got a wedding to attend. Yeah, that's another thing. At least it's in the summer. Okay. Alex, throw a herring type glide bait over on Latham. So like I said, I'm going to be here for the rest of the afternoon at the shop. I'm getting ready to open it up. Maybe we can make some money. If you guys are in the area, come by and see me, come hang out. Messick Outdoors for you guys. Chris Aldane's videos on spoons has been the most helpful for me. Absolutely. I can see that. I need to watch those. I need to try a spoon off the kayak. I bet that would be fun. Hugging spoons work now too. I don't know what a jigging. Okay. I was about to say, Alex, I don't know what a hugging spoon is. But you never know what you'll hear. Steve Magmoto. Hey, Danny, used spoons with success on tuna in the fall. So see, it's something. I'm a finesse guy. And so for the rest of the year, when I can, I'm going to try to learn some more of this power stuff, big bait technique. That's the one thing that Lanier would do to you. You grew up on a farm pond throwing spinner baits and stuff like that, and then you get on Lanier and you got to pull out the you don't have to, but a lot of us pull out the spinning rod. We got our cast braid with our Tatsu fluoro on it leader, and we're dropping things down and we're finesse fishing. And so it changes you a little bit. And now I'm like, you know what? I've lost the art of the power. Not that I had it, but what little I had. So I'm going to try to commit. I'm actually going to go out there a couple afternoons, hopefully next week on Latham, after all you suckers leave. All right. And then throw some big stuff around by myself. Messick Outdoors. He told me at the Classic on Hartwell in 22 that it has to be hot, like our weather now, before he throws them on drop-offs and ledges. And then Nathan says, I caught my personal best on a Mike Bucca swim bait in the winter. You know what John said last night? Yes, little fish will hit it. Little fish will hit them, but they're big fish baits. That's what you're going for. So I'll be at the shop tomorrow. Oh, Atlanta Outdoors. I power fished on Sinclair growing up. Had to learn finesse when I moved to Lanier. Rob Robleski, and he's been on several times on the live well, and he chimed in here last couple of days. He grew up on Okeechobee. He moved up here to Blue Ridge or LJ when he knew he was going to fish the MPFL to learn our herring lakes and all that. And then after a couple of years, now he's moved further north into Tennessee because you got to be versatile, right? But he'll tell you that North Georgia, Highland reservoirs are a different world. And I can imagine, Sinclair is a different world than Lake Lanier. But anyway, guys, so I'll be at the shop the rest of the day till about 5 o'clock. If y'all are in the area, come hang out. And I'll be here tomorrow from 8 to 12. So if you're in the area and you're not fishing, come see me, sit down. We'll sit here and shoot the bull like we're doing now. We'll be back next week, Monday. No telling what will pop into my mind between now and Monday at noon. We'll do another lunch break Monday. If you guys are going fishing, though, those of you that are going fishing, please, please, please be careful out there. Safety first. I don't want to hear any of my guys that watch us having an accident, or seeing your face on the news. I don't want to see that. It would devastate us. But have fun. Kind of get us a fishing report a little bit. It'd be pretty cool if we can turn these lunch breaks, especially on Monday and Friday. You hydrate, 100%. But like on Mondays, almost kind of like a review of what you guys, how the weekend was. Kind of like our own little fishing reports right here. And then on Fridays, we'll talk about where we're going and how we're planning on going, for the weekend and what we're going to be throwing. So anyway, with that, I got to get to work and do some stuff here. Try to make some money. But if you're in the area, come see me. If not, have fun out there. We'll be back next Tuesday's live well. I got the owner of Magnum Baits. We're going to be talking. John Aldridge is going to jump back on with me. We're going to talk about how to take these big Senkos, these 10-inch Senkos, these bigger style trailers and everything, and translate it into Georgia. And we're going to talk about that. And then next Thursday, Ryan Sheffield and Jonathan Farmer both are going to be coming on, and it will be the jig episode. Okay, it'll be the jig episode. So we'll talk about that. A lot of guys want us to do a jig episode, and then we'll just do the lunch break all through the week, and have some fun. So anyway, you guys have a lot of fun this weekend. Be safe, and hopefully we will see you soon. And this mouse sucks. There we go. I'll see you guys later.